Look closely at your screen. That aesthetic video telling you to quit your job, live out of a van, and blindly follow your passion is a masterfully packaged lie. Modern culture is marketing a romanticized, lethal trap. That your 20 seconds are just a free trial period to explore the world without consequences. But here is the cold truth. Freedom without financial discipline isn't find-yourself exploration, it is structured laziness subsidized by someone else. Wasting your youth is not terrifying because your bank account hits zero. It is terrifying because you are burning through your absolute peak years like a naive kid lighting matches in a freezing blizzard. You get exactly 3 seconds of artificial warmth, followed by a lifetime of bitter darkness when you realize you have zero leverage left in a cutthroat economy. And the absolute worst part of this trap? You didn't even pay for the match. This is exactly what happened to Ethan, a 26-year-old digital designer in Austin, Texas. A year ago, he fell for the passion narrative. He left his stable agency gig to freelance, inflating his lifestyle with subscription services and expensive networking coffees to fit into the local creative scene. Then, the market shifted. Tech layoffs flooded the industry, automated software advanced, and his client pipeline vanished overnight. Today, Ethan is trapped in what behavioral economists call the boomerang kid syndrome. He belongs to an entire generation flying away to chase unearned romantic ideals, only to crash hard and move directly back into their childhood basements because they can no longer afford rent. Ethan convinced himself he was independent, but who is covering the minimum payment on his student loans this month? Who is quietly absorbing the grocery bills while he sits downstairs waiting for inspiration? This lifestyle isn't free. It is being heavily funded by the sweat and deferred retirement of his parents. If you are reaching 30 and still lack financial autonomy, your passion is just a luxury item billed directly to the people who raised you. Which brings us to a terrifying structural break. You need to understand that you do not have a lifetime to fix your mistakes. Your biological golden window to build a baseline foundation for survival lasts exactly 15 years, from age 23 to 38. This is the precise period where your neuroplasticity is at its absolute peak. Your body can crush 90-hour work weeks, and the market allows you to fail with minimal consequence. But enter the grim equation of our new economic era. Artificial intelligence is not coming for the macro-level strategic visionaries. It is systematically consuming the entire middle class of average skills. Junior designers who only execute standard layouts are being replaced by automated algorithms for a marginal cost of zero. If you cross the age of 35 with nothing but an average portfolio and easily automated technical skills, the market will not fire you with a loud, dramatic corporate memo. It will quietly phase you out through absolute, cold silence. No callbacks, no freelance contract offers, no seat at the table. When you are pushed to these dark margins, a dangerous biological loop activates inside your mind. Cognitive science proves that when chronic financial pressure hits a critical mass, human beings do not magically get smarter, their cognitive bandwidth drops, and they get significantly more impulsive. This self-destructive loop is known as the scarcity panic. Because Ethan operates without a baseline safety net, his amygdalate brain's primitive survival hub stays permanently hijacked by stress hormones. This biological emergency freeze completely paralyzes his prefrontal cortex, the precise region responsible for risk management and long-term logical planning. He opens LinkedIn, watches his former college peers buy houses in Houston or celebrate major corporate promotions, and his brain spirals into panic. To fix his entire life instantly, Ethan takes his last remaining $500 and throws it into volatile meme coins and highly leveraged options trading he found on Reddit, praying for an overnight miracle. This neurochemical blindness turns desperate young adults into perfect bait for financial scams, completely destroying their remaining leverage. To break free from this biological tailspin, you must first destroy the consumer chains around you. The modern consumer economy is masterfully engineered to turn young adults into financial indentured servants through the psychological illusion of affordable monthly payments. They manipulate your dopamine centers with smooth marketing. It is just $49 a month for this software. It is only $15 a week for this jacket. It is a mindless consumer trap designed to keep you broke. Financially mature individuals ignore monthly payments entirely. They focus exclusively on building a rock-solid perimeter called the 6-month emergency fund. This requires calculating the absolute bare minimum survival cost of your rent, groceries, and baseline insurance, multiplying that exact number by 6, and locking it inside a separate high-yield account. This cash is not an investment, it is not for a holiday, and it is certainly not for your passion. It exists solely to buy you psychological oxygen, so your amygdala never enters survival panic when a client drops you or a job disappears. Once you secure this defensive wall, you unlock the ability to construct an unbreakable moral shield. Stop buying into the naive cultural narrative that money corrupts your soul. The truest, harshest reality of adult life is that a chronic lack of money is what systematically erodes your integrity piece by piece. Kindness, empathy, and moral boundaries become incredibly fragile luxuries when you are living paycheck to paycheck, completely terrified of a sudden car breakdown or an unexpected medical bill. Capital doesn't steal your character. It acts as an absolute moral shield to protect your human dignity during the absolute worst moments of your life. When you possess that 6-month emergency perimeter, you never have to tolerate a degrading work environment. You gain the supreme leverage to say no to corrupt deals, and you can handle a family medical emergency with decisive strength. True personal honor requires a solid financial foundation standing right behind it to back it up. But remember, the ultimate factory that manufactures this protection is not a digital bank vault. It is completely inside your own physical habit. The single biggest mistake young creatives make after a massive career crash is turning their anger inward and destroying their own foundation. They punish themselves with toxic food, terrible sleep cycles, and endless rounds of mental self-flagellation in the dark. Here's a baseline reality check. Your digital bank balance can drop to zero, but the only actual wealth generation plant you truly own is your mind and your physical body. Even when the financial sky is falling, you must fiercely force yourself to eat clean, sleep 8 hours, regulate your nervous system, and protect your inner alignment. Losing a client, missing a promotion, or getting laid off does not mean you lost the war. As long as your core physical asset remains structurally sound and rock solid on the inside, you retain the absolute sovereign power to stand up, execute the work, and rebuild an entirely new empire from the ground up. This shift in perspective is what separates the boys from the men. The debt, the creative burnout, or the crushing uncertainty you are experiencing at 25 is never your final chapter. It is a necessary, painful, evolutionary pivot designed to force you out of the crowd and into absolute emotional sovereignty. This is a bulletproof mental state where your self-worth is officially taken off the public auction block. You completely stop letting shifting corporate moods, economic downturns, or passive-aggressive comments dictate whether you have a good or bad day. You become the sole author of your life. Stand up, cut out the cheap dopaminergic noise, embrace the raw daily discipline, and sock your skills to protect the people you love. When your mind becomes completely immovable on the inside, the world naturally moves out of your way. If this journey was the reality check your growth needed today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your strategy for the future in the comments below. Reclaim your sovereignty. I am